In 1982, Cynthia Toussaint was a ballet dancer and an aspiring actress in her senior year in college.
Performing is what I lived and breathed to do. It was all about performing. It's what I did.
One day in ballet class, Cynthia had an experience that didn't seem out of the ordinary at the time.
The ballet instructor told everybody in the class when they did that particular stretch to do it over again. He said, "You're high-level dancers, stretch your back out as you come up." I felt a pop in my right supporting leg just behind my knee, in my hamstring. It felt like I had a guitar string in my leg that was plucked and had broken.
For dancers, injuries are par for the course, and Cynthia figured she'd be off her feet for a few days, tops.
She called me and she said, "Mom, I've had an injury, but don't worry about it." She followed that up right away. "Don't worry about it. You know, it's just a hamstring tear." She reassured me that it was okay and she was going to be fine.
But a few days later, Cynthia's leg wasn't fine. It was getting worse.
My leg became swollen and it was discolored. It turned purple. And I had constant muscle twitches in it. So I kept staying off of the leg, which is what I was told to do. But that was horrible for me. I was supposed to dance every day.
8 weeks passed, and the pain hadn't subsided. Cynthia tried to work through it, but it was too much. Only 3 months before she was due to graduate, she stopped the rigorous training and dropped out of school.
She couldn't dance. She couldn't do the payload of classes that she had to do every day to complete her course study at that time.
But Cynthia wasn't about to give up on her dreams of becoming a performer. Despite her constant pain, she soon took a job as an assistant to a magician.
With the job, I was dancing a very light, for me, it was very light dancing. I would have to get to the theater and sort of fake, that I was okay, and I would get ready and get out to that stage and perform.
Between shows, she's wrapping her leg in cellophane, she's putting frozen peas on her legs, she's putting ointments, she used every internal process she could to get out there, and she did it.
I was not going to lose that life for anything. Nothing was going to take that away from me.
But after a year, even the minimal dancing in the act was too hard to bear. It had been almost 18 months since the hamstring tear, and she was only getting worse.
I went to see just about every doctor I could imagine. I started with the emergency doctor, and then I would try to get a referral to, say, a neurologist or an orthopedist.
We would say, doctors, that she's still got this pain. She's got this terrible pain that's, it's inhibiting her way, walking and sitting and sleeping, and, they didn't seem too alarmed about it. They just prescribed her some anti-inflammatories and told her to take it easy.
I didn't know what was wrong with me. I couldn't even hop on my foot. I was in so much pain. I just felt like my leg was on fire. And nobody got it.
Then Cynthia experienced another injury.
I was stretching before a show, and I felt a pop in my left leg, and it was just like the pain in my right leg. I could not use either leg at that point. Over time, the pain continued to get worse and worse. I thought I could take anything. I couldn't fake it anymore. I couldn't fake it for an audience anymore. I couldn't take this amount of pain. And that's when I knew it was over.
Since injuring her hamstring in ballet class, the pain in dancer Cynthia Toussaint's right leg has gone from bad to worse, and no one has been able to figure out why. Now she's injured her left leg and has been forced to move back home.
I just remember pain and just being unable to do anything.
Cynthia hoped that bed rest would help her legs heal, but after 6 months, she was completely unable to straighten her right leg. Cynthia's doctor prescribed intensive physical therapy.
5 days a week. My leg was put into a passive motion machine, and I was ordered to keep my right leg in that machine every single moment except when I crawled to use the toilet. And that machine kept straightening out my leg as far as it would go, and then it would bend it and straighten it and bend it. This was a torture device for me.
Physical therapist said, the physical therapy is not helping you. I can't help you anymore. So they dismissed her after 5.5 weeks.
This is fantastic. I mean, I don't know what's going on here. I've never heard anything like this before. I'd never seen anything like this before. I just thought people got better and went on.
Eventually, the pain and stiffness in Cynthia's legs made it impossible for her to walk.
We rented a wheelchair, but that was, temporary because I was not disabled. I was going to get better.
Deep down, Cynthia knew that this had to be more than just a dance injury.
I was tested for lupus. I was tested for syphilis. I was tested for multiple sclerosis I think several times.
Every time we went to a new doctor, it was, maybe this will be it. Maybe this will be it.
Trying something new, there was always hope. There was always excitement.
But time and time again, the doctors told Cynthia there was no reason for her to be in pain. Her injury had healed. There was nothing wrong with her.
Doctors were supposed to heal. They were supposed to know.
And so I would say, where's the treatment? We're waiting for the treatment. We're waiting for the diagnosis. Give it to us.
Unable to locate the source of Cynthia's pain, some doctors began to suggest something less obvious might be going on.
At that point, I was told that I was just making it up, that I wanted the attention.
They're beginning to tell you now this is just all an emotional disorder.
My mother and John told me that the doctor had said, Cynthia never wanted to get well. I knew from the very beginning that this was all in her head.
I think we were all desperate. We were pounding our heads against the wall.
After yet another disappointing doctor's visit, Cynthia's mother broke down.
She got me in the car, and she somehow picked up this wheelchair and was just slamming it against the car over and over and over, screaming, they don't care, my daughter's dying, just screaming things like that.
But not everyone was as sympathetic as Cynthia's mother.
People were definitely falling away. Her siblings began to doubt her because there was no diagnosis.
I became an extremely angry person, and I took my anger out on anybody who stayed. So if my family was going to stick around, they were going to watch me get down on my bleeding knees and destroy rooms.
I remember holding her countless times, holding her, trying to hold her and make it